Some of us go to Target for toilet paper, toothpaste, clothing, dishes we don't need, new salt shakers. And some of us go to Target to find our community. Welcome Anna to the stage.
Thank you for coming, by the way. It is an absolute pleasure to look out and see so many people that have meant so much to me. So, thank you. Just get the crying started. Let me tell you the story of the time my friend rescued me from Target, which had stopped being a fun place to go and had turned into a complete nightmare of normalcy that I had to face. I had to go to Target to buy a frame for my daughter's last school picture for her memorial service. And I so stupidly thought I could do that by myself, which was not ideal, as we say tonight. So I get in a car, which was also a dumb idea, and it's probably about a month. My daughter had died a week before Christmas from cystic fibrosis, and her name is Jolene. So she loved Target. So I had not been to Target by myself in like a really long time, which is kind of like this suburban wet dream to like go to Target by yourself while your kids are at school, right? So boring. So I felt, on these stories that I heard tonight, I kept hearing this phrase of, so I buckled them in, right? I put them in the seat, right? And Jolene rode in the back because she weighed about nothing, and she was really sick with cystic fibrosis, and so she had been homeschooling, which basically meant going to Target and maybe the library with me for a few months, and she had just died, and when I was thinking about telling you where this fell in time, I don't know, because I can't remember. It could have been a week later, it could have been 2 months, I don't know. I know it was sometime between December 17th and January 20th. So I get in my car, I grab that steering wheel, and I start to do this conscious driving thing I had been perfecting, where I literally talked out loud to myself about, okay, I'm going to put the car in reverse, and I'm not going to run over anybody in the reverse. And I looked at the thing, and I looked back, and I pushed the brake, pushed the gas. I'm probably going like 15 miles an hour down 6th. My husband's looking at me like, holy shit, why did I leave you? Right? You probably should have had an intervention about this. And I get to Target, and I get a cart, and I remember getting a big cart, like a regular big old Target cart, because I knew that I did not have the strength in my arms to like carry a basket. And I'm pretty strong, but I like literally had nothing to draw from. And I was there, and I went into the frame aisle, and I remember I was like, we've all done this move, sort of, like any tired-ass mom who has to go get wipes, has done this, where you're like, you lean over the thing, and you're just like this, and then I did not know if I could get back up. And I'm in the frame aisle, and it just all hits me like a wave of ice water that my daughter was gone forever. and that I was going to go home and she was not going to be there. And I was going to wake up tomorrow and she wasn't going to be there. And I just didn't know where to put that. And that is not an emotion you should be feeling at Target, guys, okay? So if you start feeling that way, take care of yourself, go into the woods or something. Do not go to Target, okay? So I'm there collapsing into a mush pit in the frame aisle, and I call my friend Laura, who's not here tonight, thank God. And I say, you have to come get me at Target. And she's like, I got it. And so she shows the hell up for me at Target. And I guess we get other things. I think I had to get toilet paper because you still poop even if your daughter dies, unfortunately. And, you know, people had been bringing us so much stuff and so many things and showing up for us in so many ways, but there's still this kind of hunter-gatherer need to provide as a mother for your family still, even if you don't have anywhere to put that anymore. And I have another daughter, and so we were trying to, like, you know, pack her school lunch, which was just the most insulting thing to me, that I had to pack a lunch for one kid. And it was these moments of normal life. And our normal life had been a mess since she started basically dying. She was spending all day at home basically caring for her lungs and trying to clear the mucus out. But so all that, I didn't have anything to do. My other daughter went to school, and I didn't have anything to do. And I just stood at Target. And I don't really go there anymore, thank God. But so Laura comes, and I think my eyes were closed. So if you ever see someone like with their eyes closed, like, help that sister out, okay? Like, go over to her and be like, let's go to Starbucks at least, you know, like it's some other boring suburban manifestation. But she put her hand on my back, and she didn't say anything. And she said, what do you need? And I said, toilet paper. I need toilet paper, and I need an 8x10 frame. And so she helped me pick both those things out, and then she followed me home, I think. And then she texted me about 68 times later that day to just make sure I was okay. And this is just one of many, many moments I realized that this was not something you do by yourself. And that, of course, no one would know what it was like for me to lose a child, because it's everyone's worst nightmare, right? It's the fear that eats us alive at night when we think about the risks that our child is in, whether they're born differently with an illness, they're born a color, or they're born into a certain situation. Like, core of that fear is that that child will die, and we will not succeed at protecting them, and I did not succeed. And I was trying to live this normal life and be alive and just move through the days. And I didn't know how, and I needed help, and you were there to help me. whether it was driving to Colorado so that my other daughter could have one last night of normal with her best friend while we laid in the hospital next to our daughter, waiting for her organs to get placed. Or planting a garden in her honor, or coming to her hospital room on one of her many, many stays in Tucson and magnetically hanging curtains so that we could have more dark in the room, which was, sleep is my love language, so that was very touching. And the action of love that I felt from other mothers has been so moving and so beyond anything I ever expected. And being able to be up here with these other storytellers has been very humbling in that we're all talking about doulaing each other and supporting each other and being a community together and sharing the truth about things so that we can be there and show up for each other when we're collapsed. Not in a fixie way, but in a way of putting our hands on each other's backs and say, what do you need? Or just showing up with soup or something, or even better, takeout. I mean, soup gets... Just a caveat, I did appreciate every dinner, but please don't bring your friends lentil soup anymore. Okay. But if you had told me in January of 2018 that I would be standing up able to even say Jolene's name without being a disaster pit of mush and gunk and failure and insecurity and identitylessness, I would have never believed that I would have somehow been able to stand up here and tell any little teeny part of this story. And it is because I have been bolstered up by other mothers and women in my community. And because I do not feel alone. Thank you.